Good day and namaste. This is Reverend Jada with your daily dose of truth. In New Thought teachings, it is emphasized that we are one. One in spirit, one in consciousness, one in love, one in truth. And that when we read biblical texts and stories, it's best to realize that all of the characters represent an aspect of man, physically, mentally. We are all of the characters in the Bible, or based on historical incidents, personalities, events, and people. This approach helps us understand the teachings expressed through stories and parables without judgment. Here is one example. The story is called Painting Judas and Jesus. Leonardo da Vinci, the noted Italian artist, painted the Last Supper. It took 7 years for him to complete it. The figures representing the 12 apostles and Jesus himself were painted from living persons. The life model for the painting of the figure of Jesus was chosen first. When it was decided that Da Vinci would paint this great picture, hundreds and hundreds of young men were carefully viewed in an endeavor to find a face and personality exhibiting innocence and beauty, free from the scars and signs of the dissipation caused by sin, what we in New Thought know as the separation from the divine. Finally, after weeks of laborious search, a young man of 19 years of age was selected as the model for the portrayal of Jesus. For the next 6 months, Da Vinci worked on the production of this leading character of his famous painting. And over the next 6 years, Da Vinci continued his labors on this sublime work of art. One by one, fitting persons were chosen to represent the apostles, with space being left for the painting of a figure representing Judas as the final task of this masterpiece. If you recall, Judas was the apostle who betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. For weeks, Da Vinci searched for a man with a hard, callous face, with a countenance marked by scars of avarice, deceit, hypocrisy, and crime. A face that would delineate a character who would betray his best friend. After many discouraging experiences in searching for the type of person required to represent Judas, word came to Da Vinci that a man whose appearance fully met his requirements had been found in a dungeon in Rome, sentenced to die for a life of crime and murder. Da Vinci made the trip to Rome at once, and this man was brought out of his imprisonment in the dungeon and led out into the light of the sun. There, Da Vinci saw before him a dark, swarthy man with long, shaggy, and unkempt hair sprawled over his face, which betrayed a character of viciousness and complete ruin. At last, the famous painter had found the person he wanted to represent the character of Judas in his painting. By special permission from the king, this prisoner was carried to Milan, where the picture was being painted. For months, he sat before Da Vinci at appointed hours each day as the gifted artist diligently continued his task of transmitting to his painting this base character representing the traitor and betrayer of Jesus. As he finished his last stroke, he turned to the guards and said, "I have finished. You may take the prisoner away." As the guards were leading their prisoner away, he suddenly broke from their control and rushed up to Da Vinci, crying as he did so, saying, "Da Vinci, look at me. Do you know who I am?" Da Vinci, with the trained eyes of a great character student, carefully scrutinized the man, upon whose face he had constantly gazed for 6 months, and replied, "No, I have never seen you in my life until you were brought before me out of the dungeon in Rome." Lifting his eyes toward heaven, the prisoner said, "Oh God, have I fallen so low?" Then turning his face to the painter, he cried, "Leonardo da Vinci, look at me again, for I am the same man you painted just 7 years ago as the figure of Jesus." John 17:21 says, "That they all shall be one, just as you, my Father, are in me, and I am in you, so that they also shall be one in us." Living Truth family, we are one. The affirmation for the day is, God is the flow of life within my body and my being. Let us repeat this affirmation 3 times. God is the flow of life within my body and my being. God is the flow of life within my body and my being. God is the flow of life within my body and my being. Let us pray. Knowing that there is only one presence, one power, one life, one intelligence, one substance in all of the universe, it is perfect, whole, complete, and harmonious. It is the source of all things and is in us, through us, as us. There is nothing separate from it. We are one. There is nothing in our experience separate from this power, this presence. We are one. The light shines bright in each and every one of us, and we give thanks. There is nothing to prevent the full expression of our oneness in the universe, for we are born of it. We are grateful for all of it. We are it. We are one. These are words of power, words of good, and we accept them and know them as the truth. For this knowledge, for this understanding, we give thanks, and we release these words into the universe, knowing that they will not return to us void. And so it is.